Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 3. Chapter 3 of your textbook covers how to best use data visualizations to show a comparison between two or more numbers. When the purpose of your visualization is to compare two or more numbers, really the story you're trying to tell is that of superiority. Perhaps you have data from a pre-test and a post-test and you're trying to show whether or not your intervention worked. Was it better to choose option A or option B? Maybe you've had a contest and you need to determine whether Group A, Group B, or Group C did the best. You're showing which of the groups is superior to the others. And the best tactic to do that is with the most simplistic design possible. Your textbook makes very clear that in most cases, you're going to see businesses using cluster column charts to show comparisons between groups. And it's not a great idea. The reason these are so common isn't because they're effective, it's because they're really easy to make. But it's difficult for people to see comparisons between bars that aren't touching. Two bars side by side, sure, you can tell which is the biggest, but the more distance you get between bars, the harder it is for your eyes to tell a difference. So really, you only want to use these types of cluster bar charts when you're only comparing two groups. Some better options for comparing multiple groups. First, you have the line chart. A line chart is what you want to use to compare the performance between two groups over time. Now, that's a very key point I want you to remember, that line charts are your friend when you have data across time, especially if you have multiple points in time. Now, if you just have 2 points in time, you may want to use a slope chart instead. A slope chart shows changes in data at point A and point B. And the entire purpose of the slope chart is to draw lines that show you whether the data trended upwards or downwards. That's the entire point. So essentially, slope charts are a subset of line charts in which there are only 2 points in time. Now, this isn't to say that you should never create a bar chart with more than 2 bars. In fact, a back-to-back set of bar charts is a great way to compare data. Consider you have 2 different groups that you want to compare. Here I have sales data from 10 years across a company with cardboard and coated paper. Creating 2 sets of bar charts that are back-to-back allows you to compare the shape of those data sets across time. Now, if I wanted to really compare year to year to year, a better way to do this would be a line chart, but I can at least eyeball in here and see if there is a difference in the shapes themselves. This may be a useful option for you. It may not be. It depends on how much of a difference there is in the shape of the data. Now, your textbook also talks about dot charts. I'm not going to cover dot charts simply because they're not as common to use in the business world because of the difficulty involved in making them. Now, your textbook spends a lot of time walking you through how to build all of these chart types in Microsoft Office. I strongly encourage you to take some time this week to practice the line chart, the slope chart, and the back-to-back bar chart. Let me know if you have any questions.